welcome to Biscuit Tin RPG, everyone. We are back with Tales from the Gate. This will be the first run in a little mini series that we're doing here, which involves the Homebrew World by Adam and I. The first gate from the book Menagerie of Madness. In this, we will have a little crew of misfits doing whatever it is that they decide to do. This episode will be a little bit different, and it'll be a little bit different from my previous runnings of games because this is going to be more my style versus a book guiding me along like the Red Opera or in the future the Black Ballad. In which case, I'll be a lot more brutal in the future. I was told that apparently me as a DM is easy mode, so screw you, Rick. Yeah, I'm coming for you. Anyway, without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. I am going to start with each person. We're going to introduce them and their character, and then we'll go from there. So sit back and enjoy the show. We'll have ads at the end. I don't want to do it up front. So we're going to go ahead and start with Roman as Remus. So, Remus, you awaken in a very dark room. You don't know how long you've been asleep. Um, it doesn't feel like that long, but who knows? You remember going to bed for quite a while, taking a long rest, seeing that the world was not really to your taste. Upon awaking, you find on your chest an amulet with a note that says, "Sometimes the sun hurts. Maybe it won't hurt so much this time." Now, what do you do?
He will kind of clamber out of his coffin, sort of dust himself off a little, and look at the amulet. He's a person who like really enjoys like fine things and like rare items. I think he kind of looks at it and kind of appreciates it, and is just kind of looking around, not knowing where he is.
All right. So go ahead and continue explaining that while I fix the title of this session.
Do
Jesus.
you want me to describe my character?
Yeah, go ahead and tell everyone what your character looks like.
Sure. Remus is a old looking man. He has this like beautiful like red suit with a cravat, but it's like, you know, when you have that like when fabric gets dusty and it's hard to like get out and like set into it, as that covered all over it. His body is just like literally skin and bones. It's like just like if a mummy was a person. Kind of like old, wrinkled skin with like little spots on his face, big protruding fangs, and blood red eyes, big ears, and a powdered wig. And he is just kind of curious on where he is.
Okay. All right. Thank you for carrying that on while I fixed the title here. So, you begin exploring the area that you're in. I believe you have dark vision, so it's not completely dank and dark. It's wet. You seem to be in some sort of cave structure, and you're trying to find kind of your way out to get your bearings to see how the world has changed since you went to sleep. And you find yourself walking, and you see a doorway. Just it kind of looks like a mine shaft was here at one point, and you start walking through the door. And as you walk through the door, you feel something's not quite right. And as you walk through the door, you begin to hear strange noises. And we'll get to what you see when we catch up with everybody else. So, next we have Moriarty. Moriarty, you are doing what currently?
Um, well, right now he is sprinting through the back rooms of a museum as a very portly man from the Scotland Yard chases after him. Um, Moriarty isn't stopping to monologue or banter. He's a better villain than that. He's just racing, and I think he ends up in the Egyptian section of the museum.
Okay. So, as you make it into this section of the museum, you're darting through left and right, trying not to trip over things, trying to make as little noise as possible so that the Scotland Yard doesn't catch up with you. It's dark. The museum's been closed for an hour or so now, and you're about to make your way through a doorway when everything changes. You feel like your body shimmers a little bit, and then you come out on the other side of the door, and you're no longer in the museum. And we'll get to you as soon as we get done with the next. All right. Quinn, also known as Grits. You are floating in the astral plane, just kind of deciding what to do. I believe you've been thinking of making some choices as of late. In the far distance,
Yeah.
you see a door that you were told never, under any circumstances, are you to go there.
I want to touch it.
So, you drift closer to the ethereal door. You've spent your entire life on this plane, only sent out on small missions here and there, mostly for your own amusement. But the one thing you've always been told is never, ever, ever, ever touch this door. This door was forbidden, and you were never told why. Throughout your life, you've stayed in contact with your siblings. One of which said that if you really want to, start over, that you should definitely touch that door. And it looks like curiosity has finally gotten the better of you. And you touch the door. Your body begins to morph a little bit as the door doesn't just let you pass through it, it grabs and yanks you through. And roughly all the same time, outside of Haley and Alouette, you all get pulled through, and you begin to hear talking all around. You were all in relatively secluded spaces, and suddenly, everything you knew is changed. Before you, you see lines of people. People of various backgrounds, different species. And while that's not necessarily uncommon to you all, the one thing you notice is that there's buildings of all shapes and sizes. And you look behind you, and there's this massive archway that you seem to have walked through. As you take in your surroundings, you see that the city doesn't just go forward. Normally, there's a horizon of sorts. You'd be able to see the top of a building, and then you'd see some buildings off this way. But the way that this appears is the city doesn't just go forward. It goes forward and up. So you actually can see the entire city stretch up above you as if space is bent here. And you see that there's more city off to the left. You kind of look way over to your left over here, and there is, apparently it's just going in like a weird, what is it, a door shape of some sort. The far side is covered with what appears to be some scattered buildings and ruins. It's very unclear. There's a lot of different, there's some water over there, there's some sand. Looks like there's a bunch of different, like if all the plains or just a standard continent got shoved onto one thing. But everything up here and across this doorway's lintel, as it were, is just covered in cities, city blocks and buildings. There are some from what appears to be orcish make, some that appear to be more human settlements. There are some very strange looking demonic ruins, among many other things. And the one thing as you're kind of looking back and forth over this is you look into the center of this doorway, and you didn't notice it first, but now as you look, your eyes cannot focus. As you are not just looking at nothing, there is something in the nothing that gives off this pale hue of red that coats the entire city. If it weren't for the fact that there were these strange fires floating in nothing, they don't seem to be working like fire at all. But every time you try to look at this center of the doorway, your eyes cannot seem to focus on it. It's just a swirling mass of just void. And as you're all standing there, kind of just looking at all of this and trying to figure out, where the hell am I? A man walks up. And he says, oh, hello. My name's Jeffrey. I'm with the Erudition. I'm here to do your intake. So I know there's a bunch of you. It's 3 right now, it looks like. I guess I'll go one at a time, and see if there's anything I can do to help make your stay here a little bit more comfortable. I will start with you on the left, and he points at you, Remus. And he says, are you here on purpose or on accident?
I suppose on accident.
Very well. Okay, then I have a few questions for you. Obviously, you haven't been here before, so what we'll do is I'll do a quick rundown with some of the basic rules for you all in a minute, but we got to get you registered. We do have a few simple questions first, just to kind of gather information about the people coming into the first gate. So I'll start with you. Name and point of origin, please.
My name is Count Elisarimus, and I come from the place called Transylvania. It is not. This is not. Where am I? Is it not this same
No.
place?
No, I do not believe. Do you know the name of your plane of existence or the world you come from?
I suppose Earth.
Oh, a Terran. Okay. We'll go ahead and put point of origin Earth, and your name. I'm gonna call you Remus if that's fine. I don't know if Count is important to you. I know that.
Informal.
All right,
But
Count.
it is fine.
Count Remus it is. All right. Okay. Species. You look human, but not.
I was human.
Are you of the undead?
Right.
Okay. Fair enough. Do you come from a world full of magic, or is it dead there?
There's some magic, yes.
Okay. Different version of Earth. We'll call that Earth 3. All right. Let's see here. All right. we'll get to you in just a moment. I'm going to go ahead and talk to your companions here. You, not quite kobold. You're not going to start anything here, are you?
I feel like Grits has like pulled just a bone from in her bag out of nowhere and is just chewing on it. No,
Okay.
I mean, no.
Okay. Name and point of origin, please.
Grits,
Okay.
and I guess technically the astral plane.
Species Vanderbold. Okay. We'll get to you. Heralds. Always heralds. Every time. Every day. All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Grits. We'll get back to you in a second. You, sir. Very, human, I assume, yes?
Yes.
Okay. And, name and point of origin?
Dr. Moriarty. I come from God's own country, good old London.
Okay. So this is going to sound like a weird question to you. Is magic there alive or dead?
Based on my studies thus far and my treasure hunting, I would say it's more varied. We seem to be in a cycle of less magic, but there are still artifacts around.
Interesting. 2 Terrans from different Earths. Don't get to see that every day. All right. So, fantastic. I'll go ahead and do that. You had something else to say, Miss Dr. Moriarty?
No.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and give you the basic information here. We are going to give you what is called a gate mark. It will allow you to use payment here, and it is a requirement put forth by the Clockwise Garrison in order to monitor and make sure that we stay safe here. For without safety, this society would crumble. So I will tell you up front, what it does is it's an automatic, it tells your full name to anyone that looks at it, to anyone that's wizened in the ways of the gate mark or the Clockwise Garrison. They will be able to read everything about you. It's for investigative purposes to make sure that you have not committed any crimes while on First Gate. Now, that being said, what you do outside of First Gate, unless it's to a First Gate resident that has been out on official business for the Clockwise Garrison, will not be held against you. I don't care what your past crimes are or what your future crimes are, as long as they don't happen here. So, that being said, you get to pick where your gate mark is, but if you try to put it anywhere embarrassing, it is going to be even more embarrassing when you have to pay. So, I will start with you, Count Remus. Do you have a place that you would like your gate mark to be placed?
I suppose on the back of the vest.
Okay, fair enough. He pulls out this impossibly black well of ink, and he puts in what appears to be a very red and almost warm-looking feather, and he dips it in, and he just simply touches it to the back of your wrist. And as he does that, you look at it, you kind of turn your hand around to look at it, it starts to expand, and you're not sure how. But when you look at your mark, everything about you becomes crystal clear. You look at this and you say, it tells you your name, it tells you your past, it tells you where you've been. It tells you all of the exploits you've had up until this moment. And it floods through your mind. And the mark is you. You don't know how else to put it. It's you. If you have a particular faith or a driving force, it's embedded in that mark, and that's what it shows you. And as quickly as all that information flooded into your mind, the only thing that is left is your name, other than the stuff that you would normally remember. Jeffrey walks over and says, Grits, Dr. Moriarty, which of you would like to go next?
Suppose I'll go next.
Fair enough. He does the same thing. He puts the quill in the ink and taps wherever you'd like it put. I'm guessing the back of your hand as well.
Palm of my hand, actually.
Okay, palm of your hand. Touches the palm of your hand. You look at the palm of your hand, and it's the same thing. It's you. Everything that brought you to this moment, the choices you made, the crimes you may have committed, the few good things in your life, your fondest memories, your cherished memories, everything's there. And then in a blink of an eye, it's gone. But the one thing you do notice is, not only is this you, but when you look at the gate marks, you see the one on Count Remus's hand. They look nothing alike. Just a little bit of information there. Jeffrey goes, okay, Grits, I believe it's your turn. Do you have a particular place you would like your gate mark to be placed?
Now, hold on.
Yes.
Why do people need to know everything about me?
Oh, it's not.
I don't think that's everybody's business.
No, well, here's the deal. To be quite frank, the only people that would be able to know it, other than you, are the Clockwise Garrison, and only for the purposes while on First Gate. Once you leave this place, it deactivates, and it just becomes an interesting tattoo of sorts. It's only active while on this plane of existence, or the lack thereof, and only used to make sure that you don't do anything that could bring harm to this realm.
Kind of like narrows her eyes for a moment and then just points to her eyes. Around my eyes.
You want your gate mark on your eyeball. Okay.
No, around.
Oh!
Okay.
I once knew a fighter that wanted that, but his gate mark looks stupid in the end. Alright, well, here we go. Just touches right above your eye and kind of draws a line along the side. And on the right side of your face, this gate mark forms. While no one else can do anything other than read Grits' name, you can't see it, so you don't get the full flood of information. But you know that based off of theirs and the expression on their face, that if you were looking at your own, you'd be like, wow. So, while this is going on, you were all kind of getting information on this. Jeffrey's going to go over while you're kind of looking at your gate marks and kind of taking in everything you've seen. He goes, all right, there's only really one big, fast, and hard rule. Do not mess with the Clockwise Garrison. They are the sentries of this world. And do not murder. Those are really it. Everything else is handled by guild courts. And there are varying punishments for whatever you do. But as long as you maintain peaceability here, there shouldn't be any questions or issues or concerns. That's all we need with the erudition. Unless you all have any fruits or vegetables that you'd like to report that you brought with you. Anything weird?
That's oddly specific, but no.
Oops.
Okay. We just have to declare them for customs.
No.
Is it like...
Yeah,
is it
not at all.
just
Hey,
like-
how flexible is that murder thing?
Yes, I was also curious about that.
It's not flexible at all. So I assume that you've seen that over there, and Jeffrey points to the the mass in the center that hurts your eyes to try to focus on. He goes, there are two things that is used for. One of them is completely out of our control, and that's when voidlings or dragons come out and we have to defend the first gate from them. And the other one is when you murder someone, the Clockwise Garrison chucks you into it as soon as you're caught. And we haven't had an unsolved murder since before I got here. And I've been here for a very long time.
And he
It's a
even keeps
shame.
track of time if there's no consistent light or day or night.
We have clocks.
You still need to worry about the sun here. It is I don't see one, but this place is weird.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and address you to look directly up rather than at the city, so that you can become acquainted with the sky, I guess? So, you all look directly up, and you're expecting to see more of the void. But as you look up, you start to realize that the sky isn't blue or black or varying colors of the sunset. It's a patchwork quilt of sorts. You look in one direction and you see what appears to be just a lovely golden field, with what looks to be like a moon in the background, and there's right next to it, and not in a puzzle piece shape, but like kind of like stitched. Next to it, there's what looks to be the fires of hell and demons fighting and war ongoing, and all throughout the sky there's these different images of faraway places. Some of them look vaguely familiar. Dr. Moriarty, you see what appears to be like old English architecture with just people from the 1840s just walking, just minding their own business, like they don't see this other world just outside of their reach, their grasp. There's apparently, Grits, you see bits and pieces of the astral plane splattered throughout this tapestry in the sky. And Jeffrey looks at you all and goes, we don't necessarily know, but we do know for the most part the undead, or vampires, I'm assuming you're asking for that reason, don't typically have a lot of issues, but they usually bring some sort of protection just in case, and typically stay indoors, or if they see the sun start to broach in one of the areas or in a larger area, they typically kind of go inside. So it is really your choice whether or not you want to take that risk. But I would say if the sun's there, it works the same way. Most of our light comes from
Good to
the
know.
void. And our electric lamps. So-
Electric.
Yes, we,
Oh, but we'll talk about that later, Warrior.
okay. Yes.
Okay.
So Jeffrey begins explaining electricity to you. While he's doing that, we're going to go ahead and cut over to Alouette. Haley, what is this absolutely adorable creature doing?
She is at the gate, watching all of the people who are potentially coming in, looking for somebody on the shorter side, and not quite sure who to ask today about if there has been anyone since she's last been.
Okay. There are a few interesting parties that have walked in. Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
$11.
Okay. So you're having a hard time kind of picking out individual things, but you see the person you've been tormenting relentlessly since you got here with this exact same question, and it's Jeffrey. Jeffrey is currently busy with a group of newcomers. And with your perception, you overhear the word electricity and a very confused looking humanoid.
I don't get it. It sounds like magic. What's the difference?
Alouette's going to walk up and just tug on his pant leg and wait.
It's okay. So anything that is sufficiently advanced enough in technology is seen as magic by the people that don't understand how it works. So fancy magic. 1 second. Alouette, what?
Has there been anyone new today? Of type that I'm looking for?
No, unfortunately, there have not been any little girls here that have lost their doll. So,
Are you sure?
no one I've talked to, and no one said anything. I'm very sorry. I know you've been looking for a long time. I'm sure they'll find you eventually. Now, everyone, Jeffrey is this, just to give you an idea, Jeffrey is a standard human, or at least appears to be, wearing a red kind of robe with a symbol of something you've never seen before. And actually, all of you can roll religion to see if you've ever remotely heard of this group or faction before.
That's a 19.
It's a 13.
All right.
21.
Nat
Okay.
20 for a 23, which
You are fine.
makes
You already
sense.
know what they are. So for Alouette, this is the symbol of the erudition. For Moriarty, you've heard rumors of secret organizations. You always passed it off as probably just something like the Freemasons or something nonsensical like that. Everyone's out to rule the world. Grits, you are the closest to having seen these folks before, and the only reason is because you've dealt with so many circles that you've run into this symbol
Mhm.
before. The one thing you know about this organization is that they are information gatherers. Their main goal in other realms, in other planes of existence, is they don't interfere. All they do is gather information. They are not so much a cult or religion, but more of a guild of sorts. That their entire purpose is to learn as much as they can about the multiverse as possible. So that you've been traveling all over the place doing God knows what for Lord knows who for quite a while. And you've run into or seen or heard of them on more than one occasion. So it's interesting to see one in the flesh and have them talking to you. Now with that, Alouette, please describe to everyone what you look like.
Alouette is a probably about 2.5 foot porcelain looking doll, wearing a blue dress and little white tights, curly blonde hair, and she has a rather large knife tied to her back with a bright blue ribbon.
Grits kind of leans over, looks. I like your ribbon. And your knife.
Thank you. Have you seen any children?
No, but children tend to run from me.
What is your girl's name? Because, well, I've run into quite a few orphans. Maybe made some along the way, but I don't know.
Yeah. Everyone give me a perception check. Passive if you're actually directly involved in the conversation.
Alright.
Passive is 15.
12.
But let me roll.
Okay.
Say 22.
All right. So, Moriarty, you get a little bit of it. Alouette, what was your passive?
Oh, sorry. Passive is 12?
Okay. So,
That shouldn't have been a question, but
Moriarty, you notice there's a very strange look after you make that statement on Jeffrey's face. Remus, you're literally looking at this conversation happen. You see the words come out of Dr. Moriarty's mouth, and you just happen to glance over, and you see a look of like, what have I gotten myself into this time on Jeffrey's face? He goes, okay, all right. Alouette, would you mind doing me a favor?
you haven't done me one.
I've been working on it. I'm still looking.
Will it be fun?
I mean,
I'll
that's
give you a lollipop.
that's kind of objective, subjective.
She's going to look directly at Moriarty. I don't have a mouth.
How are you?
Yeah, as you look at her,
Right,
you
never
realize
mind.
that her face doesn't move when she speaks.
She's
I've heard a lot
porcelain.
about the haunted dolls, but it is the first time I've seen one.
Like to work for me? I have a few people who owe me money, and you would be perfect at collecting.
Okay,
don't know if I
Alouette,
like
I'm
you.
gonna give you 50 gate credits if you can help me.
Okay.
Okay. He
Anyway.
reaches down. You actually see, you know instinctively you have your gate mark. It's been transferred automatically as per the magic. He goes, okay, before I give this, I just want to let you all know how this works. You have to, once you make a deal and you agree to it and it's accepted and you meet the term agreed deals, you get paid. Automatic, it's built into the gate marks, it's magical. I think the closest thing I've heard to it in other worlds is, I believe, I don't know if it still works that way, but the Shadelands at one point actually had a system, but they used favors. I don't know. Similar thing. You pay up your favor, it's done. That sort of thing. Alouette, I'm going to ask you if you can take them to Newcomers Row and get them situated and possibly introduce them to one of the bins to guide them around the city and get them situated here.
Okay, I'll be back tomorrow. And she'll probably grab Grits, because she's closest.
Grits will follow.
Okay, so you are all
She
being...
is
These
not
little
caring if the other
2.5
two
foot
follow.
killers.
So you two...
Moriarty will just shrug and just follow.
Okay. And Remus, you see this. Are you following as well?
I suppose so.
Okay. So
He's not sure what's going on
Curiosity,
at
if
this
nothing
point.
else at this
Yeah.
point.
you actually so Haley has the map. There are a few places that are around here. The Erudition, their HQ is a big giant building that's kind of opposite but slightly catty corner to where the gate is itself. I'm going to go ahead and bring you all into the map. Well, I'll bring you into the map now so that you can at least see, and I'll have it zoomed in for
I would be
everyone
entirely straight
viewing.
with you. I did not look at this when you sent it to me.
That's totally fine. You were all in the lower right-hand corner right now. So the Misguided League outpost is directly above, and the Clockwise Garrison has an outpost that is connected to that as well. The Clockwise Garrison is where you will find the bins models that are available. There's the Entry Market and Newcomers Row, which are to the north, because there's really no north here. Everything is wherever it is. So the one thing that you have, Alouette, is you have been coming here so often that you've kind of developed a sense for the pattern of where the anomalies are and how to avoid them. You kind of crisscross through a couple of alleyways that like, and then end up coming out slightly in a different place a little bit further down. As you're all walking, outside of Alouette, I need all the other three to roll perception checks for me.
Very good. 26.
Okay.
The 22.
Okay.
20, dirty.
Okay. So, you are noticing that as you're following Alouette, where you're coming out doesn't make any sense. You're walking through alleyways and you're expecting to come out on the other side and see this building that you saw in the distance, but you look behind you and it's been like a 5-minute walk so far, and you're about a mile away from the gate that you entered through.
They must have hired London's architects.
What is a London?
And
Yes, what is... No, I know that. But you're from there?
Yes. I think I overheard you said you were from Transylvania?
Right.
You didn't happen to have anything to do with that Bram Stoker fellow, did you?
I don't think I know him. I'm sorry.
You didn't miss much. He was quite annoying. Anyway,
Okay.
lovely country. Haven't had the chance to visit.
Wonderful place, must say. I only saw it during the night most of my life, but pretty nice.
all right. As you're walking,
Many people have a nightlife.
as you're walking, Alouette, you bring them up to the Clockwise Garrison outpost. So the one thing you notice about this place is, for an outpost, it's actually quite large. You see a combination of wheeling clockwork gears and steam-powered pistons, and electric lights lining a kind of like a short archway, or set of archways that looks like a roofless hallway that leads into a large stone building with more gears and clicking and everything like that on the inside. As you walk in, Alouette, you're greeted by... Give me a high or low.
Hi.
Okay. Okay. There are two bins that you see first off. You only recognize one of them, and it's number 42. There's another one in there who you have heard of. There are two that are currently unoccupied, not doing any side businesses. There's number 42 and number 69. Which one do you approach?
42.
42. 42 turns around to you and goes, "Hello, hey, newbies?
Newbies.
Newbies! Awesome! So you're all looking at this, and if you can imagine a slightly more humanoid, futuristic, less trash can style Bender looking robot. And he opens his front chassis and goes, "I'm number 42. Nice to meet you guys. I'm so glad you came to me, Alouette. The other guy's a real bore." So you're new here. You're new here. So I'm guessing that means I get to give you all the tour?
I suppose.
Jeffrey said you should probably help.
So, brand new here. You understand your gate marks? Give or take?
Mostly.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, I'm assuming since you just got here, you're still using the currency of your own realms? If you have
Yes.
gold, dollars, doubloons, rupees, all that stuff, yeah? right. So
I
first
mean,
thing.
I have a few jewels in my possession.
Okay, fair enough. Then we need to get you set up with your gate marks. So we need to get you some gate credits, or creds as we call them. Some of us call them gate shards. Some of us call them shardlings, shardles. Sometimes you got to bet some shardles to make some shardles. Anyway, the point is, we got to get you set up. So we got two options for you. One takes a little bit longer, but if you want to do the easy way, I can take you to an ATM.
ATM.
ATM. It is
It is an
What is it?
all-the-time money machine. Off in off in the distance, the other Benz that was like, kind of just standing there doing nothing, that's labeled 69, just goes, "You're an idiot. It's an automatic teller machine." Don't listen to him. He's a square. Not literally. He looks just like me, but with a different number. But it's an all-the-time money machine. The easiest thing to do is you take your money, currency, whatever it's worth, you put it on the pedestal, and it transfers those credits onto your gate mark. Those are protected from theft, unless you're stupid and you fall for, I don't know, a ruse of some sort, and you agree to something that's a bad deal. So, with that being said, I think we need to get you to an all-the-time money machine. One's right over there, but we can't go straight for it because today there's an abnormally high number of anomalies. So we're going to have to go around the back of this building to the left and then take a right.
Was the other
Alouette's-
method you mentioned?
Huh?
What was the other method you mentioned? You said there were two.
Then we have to go to the Grand Bank of all the currency. It's up in the Lentil District. It takes forever to get there. Plus, there's a dragon.
The-
Okay, whatever.
a dragon.
Another one.
Huh? It's the same dragon, Alouette.
Oh,
The big orange one.
gonna be
Think
another
he's-
one.
Thinks he's gonna keep the dragons out by building the wall.
I hate you so much.
A politician.
He thinks he's really
Understood.
smart.
Yeah,
The-
no, I'd like to avoid any politicians.
Okay, yeah, then we should use the all-the-time money machine. So he just starts walking, and whether you follow him or not, he doesn't care. He starts walking. As he starts walking around and you're following him, it's for a split second. You actually see he just straight up disappears, and then you follow directly after him, and you see him again. Like it's like a blip. Like he was gone for a mere second, or it was gone for a mere second. As he's going, he's having just a riveting conversation with you about his favorite clubs, diners, drive-ins, and dives. And this is me not remembering exactly what the hell the acronym stands for, so bear with me for a moment. Yes.
And while you're flipping,
got it.
can Alouette can she knock on his ankle and ask for uppies?
I'm not giving you uppies.
Please?
Okay, but you have to convince them
I can climb up
to go to
myself.
my favorite bar.
Will you guys go to our favorite bar? Please? She's turning on
Feeling
like
that
all
my
of that
mixed
Disney
vibes
cute
type.
and hoping for the best.
Moriarty just gets sighs
Is
and
the
goes, I have a
alcohol
feeling if
really
I go
strong?
5 steps in the wrong direction, I'm going to end up falling into the void. So whatever, I'm just following you.
I'm quite parched. I would like something to drink.
All right. Looks like we have a deal. All right, fine. Uppies.
She's going to full formless goo just slither up and sit on his shoulder.
So, to explain what you just saw, Alouette is a porcelain doll who turned into a pile of goo and didn't just slither up, like slithered around to the shoulder and then turned back into a doll.
So what
Sure,
were
you
you
don't need a
before
doll.
you possessed the doll? Was it a human or some sort of ooze?
That was probably the coolest thing I've ever seen. Can you do that again? That was really cool.
Oh, Alouette already likes her.
Alright.
She's gonna look at the vampire and just I don't understand the question.
You're a haunted doll? What were you before you haunted?
I'm not haunted. I'm just me.
What is you then?
Mhm. Just full little kid shrug, no idea.
What?
I've lived for hundreds of years, and this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. All right.
What are you?
It-
Please turn
I'm
your
me.
face into an emoji.
A what?
An emoji. Just,
I don't know what
just
that
before.
is.
What is that?
Oh, this is me speaking out of the game, but
but everyone suddenly has an idea. What the hell is an emoji? All right. So the Ben's unit, while walking in front of you all, and you're having this conversation, you're hearing bits and pieces. He goes, "Yeah, us Bens are the best thing ever. We're bionic, erudite, navigational direction simulacrums. We were created for the sole purpose of guiding people around when people couldn't guide themselves before the Misguided League came over and tried to take a monopoly on it. You know, speaking of monopolies, they got a monopoly on the gate compasses. The only thing that can get you through this place without getting you lost. Good luck getting one of those. They have the patent, and they're super expensive. Anyway, we're here." And he stops abruptly. The only person that doesn't probably almost run into number 42 is, in fact, Alouette, who is just sitting on its shoulder. And he goes, "All the time money machine!" In front of you, you see what looks like to us in the real world. It looks like an ATM machine. But there's the only slight difference is instead of a place where you would put in a card or money would come out, there is a kind of a box that is slightly glowing, and it is probably about this big or this tall and this wide, big enough to put basically anything of value currency wise into it. And he goes, "All right, any currency you have, you can just toss right on there. Because of your gate mark, as long as your proximity is close enough to it, it will transfer it to you. You will officially be theft proof, maybe not foolproof, because everyone's capable of being a fool. So, that being said, go right on ahead. If you choose to switch it out for gate marks, it's the easiest way to transfer currency here, and there's not much in terms of an exchange rate. The hall balances everything. So, just for out of character mechanics, so that you know how it works, for every item or every piece of gold you have, it gives you 100 gate marks or gate credits, or gives you gate credits, 100 of them. So if you have 20, you will have 2,000 gate credits.
Moriarty will step up
Um,
first, I guess.
Okay.
He's going to reach into his bag, kind of dig around there a little deeper than should be possible, and he goes, this thing is ugly. Sure, I can trade this in." And he pulls out a small, like, jewel encrusted tiara, basically. It's like, yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna miss this. Puts it in the box.
So it's going for the gold value, which is fine. So you place it on there, and runes begin to light up around it. If anybody wants to, they can make an Arcana check to see if they can figure out what's happening.
It's a 16.
15.
Anybody that got a 15 or higher realizes that it's actually a small teleportation circle. And then a different type of abjuration transmutation magic takes hold right afterwards. As you place it in there, you look at your gate mark as you're setting it down. As this item disappears, the appropriate number of gate credits is now visible to you on your hand. Right underneath your name. No one else can tell what there. Everyone else can kind of see that there's something changed on the mark, but you're not quite sure what it means. Anybody else gonna do the all the time money the machine?
Grits will go do it.
Okay. So you step up. What do you place on the machine?
She's got a bag of 20 gold, and because she's processing this world in a weird way, she's just going to put it in one piece at a time. One piece. So 20 gold pieces, one piece at a time. Just drop them in.
You put it on there, and each time you do it, you can't really tell. Everyone else kind of sees. You have a sense that it's connecting, and you actually, the way that your gate mark is, you don't actually see the currency go in, but you have the innate knowledge of how much is in there. You actually know. You're like, oh, 100, 200, 300, 400. You do this 20 times, and everyone's just sitting there staring at you. The Benz goes, wow. Today's magic's really getting a workout. All right. So that takes about 5 minutes to go through. Count Remus, what are you doing with your life?
Got a little leather purse with his coins in it, and he takes them out and just kind of dumps them onto the thing. Closes it up, puts it back in his pocket.
And same thing happens. The coins disappear, and you look at the back of your hand, and you're like, oh. The appropriate number of gate credits has appeared. And he goes, all right, what's next? Do y'all want to go to the newcomers row or the alley? What do you want? We got the entry market.
I just want something to eat.
Something to eat? Then we're obviously going to go to the entry market. We can come to Newcomers Row right after that. Entry market's the place to go. It's the first place people go to actually get acquainted with the local cuisine. And we get that done. Then we can find you some lodgings. Lodgings are provided free by the city itself, unless you would like something a little more luxurious, in which case that is kind of your requirement to cover the bill, as it were. But we'll go ahead and start with the entry market. He starts walking. Starts walking off to the left. You see in the distance what appears to be a bunch of tents, and as you're just following behind number 42, and he's just rambling, just different things about. He's like, can't wait to go to the Peeled Key. It's one of my favorite places to go. It's the best bar. The thing is I can't drink, but you all can, and that's fun. So, I live vicariously through the people that come in through the gate. It's a weird quirk. Everyone tells me I'm broken, and they want to reprogram me, but I've consistently avoided checkup day.
While they're walking, Grits wants to reach forward with her glaive and not smack him hard or anything, but just tap the side of his leg lightly to see if it actually pings, because she's not fully convinced he's made out of metal.
Okay.
Because he's talking like that.
Yes. So you hit the side, and it's not so much like a clang, and it's solid. It's solid, like you maybe steel or some sort of alloy, but it is a distinctly metallic sound that reverberates from 42's leg, and 42 goes, "What are you doing?"
I didn't know if you were actually metal.
Oh, yeah, I am. Do. Just starts walking.
question.
As you
Have
get
you tried apples? Apples are good for keeping the doctors away.
I don't know if they're called doctors. I don't think they're doctors. I think they're mechanologists. And I don't like them. They're always trying to tell me, you got to do the latest upgrade. You got to do the latest upgrade. Look, the only upgrade I need is to know where the time anomalies are, and that upgrade has not failed me yet. Anything else? No, thank you. I don't want to be boring like number 69 and half of the other ones. It's nonsense. Also, that being said, we're almost there. As you're kind of you're going through alleyways, you're walking down streets. Very specifically avoids walking in certain areas and kind of goes in like this weird zigzag shape. And for the most part, you follow because at this point, you're like anything could happen. And as you're getting closer, you're starting to see more and more tents and stalls, and the aroma of just exotic food and spices just fills your noses. Even you, Count Remus, you smell the thing that you hunger for the most. You smell blood. And it's not just blood, the kind of coppery smell or the scent that you would get and the lovely just everything that it is. You smell different varietals as if they've been tested like fine wines and fermented or done in different ways that you'll have a selection out of all of them. You sense this over everything else and you are just like, whew, maybe I did wake up in the right place. That being said, Grits, I need you to make a insight check.
Okay. Where's my insight? Could be worse. 21.
Okay. So you are walking towards this and you're smelling all these exotic smells, but the very second you step foot into what is apparently the area of the market itself, there is a ping that you get. Someone you know is near, and there is a disturbance in the force, as it were.
Can she kind of sense like what direction or
Yes. You can roll an investigation check to see if you can pinpoint exactly where it is.
okay, that's better. 17.
Okay. So you actually are kind of following this weird feeling you're getting, and you look, and then it's gone. The scent, the feeling of everything, just what it was is just you're like, oh, maybe I was mistaken. So you continue walking. You all walk in, and Benz goes, all right. So if we're looking for food, there's a lot of different things. You don't look so good. It doesn't look like you've eaten in quite a number of years. I don't know. Actually, you know, we've been walking this whole way, and I haven't asked anybody's name. I know Alouette because she constantly comes down here asking for her lost girl. But who the hell are the rest of you?
Count Alice Remus.
Okay.
Dr.
Fancy.
Moriarty.
All right. So we got two people with titles here, and I'm gonna guess you are Jedi Master.
Just
What?
Grit.
You're just Grits? Grits.
Grits.
Oh no. I'm gonna do a check. Oh.
And Grits is fully in her armor holding her glaive still, like
So everyone else notices, I mean, it's very difficult to notice a very strange like demeanor about a mechanical face or body, but Grits You get this without rolling perception. Everyone else can roll perception, but anybody that gets higher than a 14 will recognize that there's something off the second he hears that the number 42 hears the name Grits.
Can I roll with advantage because I'm right next to
20.
his face?
Actually, I'm going to give it to you at disadvantage because you can't see his face.
Oh, I'd have to. I got a crit,
I
but at
had to ask.
disadvantage as well. It's still pretty good though.
right.
Pretty good insight.
For all the good it did me, I rolled 2 5s.
All right.
19.
Okay, so anybody that got over a
Grits
4...
just like slowly smiles too. Like there's just that slow growing smile.
And it's like number 42 goes completely stone still for like 2 seconds. Everybody that passed that perception check notices it. But everyone else is kind of like, okay, it's a weird robot thing, I guess.
Poke, poke.
Oh, another one. Okay,
Another one?
yeah, I
Seems to
already
be
know where you need to
defensive.
go.
Ooh.
All right, so you, the desiccated one, you don't ping as normal human. Do you partake of the flesh or innards of other creatures?
Lead mostly.
Okay, you're gonna need to go down to Randy's Reds. He is 3 stalls down that way. He is also of your type, and he has quite the selection. I believe that he is exactly who you need to speak with. Alouette, do you eat? I forget.
Sometimes.
I don't
It's
know
never
how.
pretty, though. I don't like to do it in front of people.
Okay, well, you already know where you need to go, so that's fine.
Mm.
Dr. Moriarty, do you have any peculiar tastes that you're fond of, or is food in general okay?
Food in general is okay, but I should probably restock on some fresh meat to keep the beast at bay.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
You wish to come with me.
So, actually, interestingly enough, since you can eat normal stuff, and I'm pretty sure the guy that I'm going to be taking her to, is going to have what you're looking for as well. They're kind of, where the hell did his stall go? The number 42 kind of like leans backwards and starts looking and goes, "Why is? I didn't believe that he could do it." Everyone make a perception check. Alouette, you are facing the direction that it's happening, so you're going to get advantage.
Yes.
15.
17.
19.
Okay. So everyone that got over a... Oh, yeah, everyone got it, because I had to do stealth again. It's different for Grits, but for everyone else, you notice, you hear a sound behind you, and then you hear the sound. It sounds like it would be extremely loud, but you look to see that all of the food stalls that are behind you get shoved to the right. And you're not quite sure what that is, but you look and there's a new stall that's popped up behind you all. Alouette, you see that happen and you're like, this is interesting. Grits, that ping that you had just suddenly reappears right behind you.
She's gonna spin around.
And standing behind you is your brother. A red kobold wearing a chef's outfit and goes, "Sis, I thought you'd never come."
She's gonna give him a hug.
Yay! Did you finally stop? Did you finally get rid of your overlord, or did you just run?
I touched the door.
I told you. I told you it would lead you someplace great. Oh,
I got bored.
Well, murdering only is fun for so long.
I
And
mean, it was
confirm.
still fun, but there wasn't really much more to murder.
Well, I will tell you this, sis. I know that you're a little unhinged, but indiscriminate murder here's not the best. If you can get sanctioned by the Clockwise
Oh,
Garrison, it's pretty sweet. But that's difficult to do. I don't. I think you have to become like an agent. You have to be here for a bit, kind of ingratiate yourself. It's a whole thing. So I just do what I do. Who are your friends?
no. She turns and then looks all the way up. That one's a doctor, and Foley is pointing at the count. That one's a count. Is pointing at the doctor. Points at Alouette, and that's a princess, basically, and she's really cool. Alouette, right?
That's me.
This is my brother Biscuit. He's the best cook you'll ever meet.
Hi.
Aw. Hi.
You are very tiny. And okay, look, I'm going to be honest with you. She's unsettling, but for different reasons. You're unsettling because there's something unsettling about you, and I'm here for it. But we're not going to get into that right now. Looks at Remus and goes, "What are you a doctor of?"
I'm a count, not a doctor.
He does specialize in blood.
That is true. I do that.
You specialize in blood? Oh, I've got a job for you. And you're a count. What do you count?
Other people's money, mostly. But I'm a doctor. Well, I suppose professor, but titles are so very complicated sometimes.
I thought you were a banker. If you have everyone else's money.
Yes, but not the kind of building. More the one you meet in the back of an alley because you want to run some interesting enterprises.
Oh, a
Grits
pickpocket.
leans over
Understood.
to Biscuit.
Huh?
Grits leans over to Biscuit and like stage whispers. Yeah, the guys are a little weird.
Who's talking?
Biscuit for the first time. Like Biscuit's normally a little ball of weird, right? But he just looks at you and goes, "Sis, if that's coming from you, these guys have gotta be out of their damn minds." And the stage whispers very, very much is audible to everyone within a 10-foot area. And he's just like, "What?" So, you are a doctor count of blood, and you are a professor doctor of other people's money. And you are a princess.
Alouette's gonna do the full cute little doll curtsy.
Grits, where
Aren't you
did you
still
find this
standing
one?
on their shoulder?
Yeah.
Yep.
42's like, so I'm 42, and Biscuit goes, "I know you're 42. How have you been getting along? Did they get you yet?" 42's like, "Nope. Been hiding out at the peeled key, but you can only hide there for so long, and every time I leave, it's like they're right where I left them. That's super annoying."
Hmm.
And Biscuit just seems
What are
because
you hiding from?
he's hiding from the Clockwise Garrison. He won't say it out loud because that makes it a crime, but that's what he's doing. They want to investigate what's wrong with his noodle. He still has access to the network, but he's able to make more of his own decisions rather than the pre-programmed ones, which is troubling to them. There's been
And that's why
rumors.
he's our favorite.
Well, I mean, I think it depends on who you ask. Some people are here and they don't want the nonsense, right? But 42 is like,
And they came to the wrong house.
I am number 42 and I am nothing if not a consummate professional. Just because I know the greatest clubs and I think we should all go there before doing anything important does not mean that I'm broken. Biscuit goes, and this is why some people don't like it. Because some people are maybe trying to cut back a little bit, or just avoid it entirely. And he refuses most of the time. The only reason he's here first is because there's booze here. And there's a club down the way, but it's neither here nor there. Anyway, Grits and companions, it seems. I assume you just made your way here, and if you stopped here, you're probably looking for food. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then by all means, let's make you some food. Does anyone have a particular flavor? You obviously drink blood. I've run into one like you, and I am not the biggest fan of her because she's crazy. Have any of you ever heard of Kelzer?
Can't say I have.
If you ever run
Not
into
the
her, you'd
vampire, no.
probably like her as long as she doesn't hate you, but she's feisty.
Hmm.
I met her when I was dead at the time.
What have you gotten into?
Oh my god, I haven't told you. It's been years since we caught up. Or maybe it's been minutes.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. The point is I went to a place called Nox Valar, and it's kind of a city of the dead, and a whole bunch of crazy stuff happened. Now the thing is I've been there in multiple times in different places, but in the same place at a different time on a different wavelength. The point is I'm not quite sure who I am anymore, and I don't know which timeline this is. To your knowledge,
You're
all
breaking
of
the universe.
I'm not breaking anything. I just get stuck in random places, all right? It's not my fault I was on that bridge when it collapsed and crushed everything I owned, including all of my bones. My bones, Grits. My bones!
The ones
Oh,
inside you
well,
or the
and
ones
Grits
you
like
owned?
reaches into her bag, and I feel like she's only got like 3 bones in there, but she pulls
Maybe
one out
both.
and offers it over to him.
He reaches out and grabs it and goes, "Oh, I've missed you, Bones. How did you get my femur?"
Well, it wasn't yours. I didn't think.
I don't want to explain this or try to figure it out, so I'm going to just put this away. Thank you.
Okay.
But I got to ask you a quick question. To your knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
is resurrection still a thing?
Well, I don't know, DM. To her knowledge, is it?
That is up to you.
Grits like stares off into space for a minute. No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think zombies were a thing.
Why would you need to be resurrected? You're alive.
Oh, no. Okay, so,
Wait, what does that make you?
Me?
Yes.
Undead?
That's weird.
okay, so
Says
Grits,
the doll to the vampire.
resurrection doesn't exist for you. How about the rest of you? Is resurrection real? I mean, outside of the
Very
undead.
powerful undead. And also some very powerful priests could bring people back from where I'm from.
Oh, I'm in a very weird predicament.
Maybe. Not where I'm from, but I'm from here now, so maybe?
Oh, God. Grits, there's a problem. So
There always seems to be one.
I've been through every one of them, right? Look, all I'm going to say is dreams. Dreams. It was a dream the whole time.
What was the dream?
It was their dream. And they were fulfilling it. And I'm talking about 2 different theys there. One the group and one the they. And he
Well,
just
you
like
already went
zones
take a
out
step
for
back.
like a solid minute.
I think her
Grits,
brother may
like-
be a bit insane.
Pokes his cheek
Huh?
like over and over, just very gently, and then looks back at the count and just says, "Hey, hey, the best kind of people are insane. Sanity is overrated."
I'm not judging. I've met very plentiful, insane people in my life. It is not uncommon.
I think it's more of a midlife crisis kind of thing. I don't know.
Lots of vampires are
He's not
insane.
that old.
You know.
She pinches his cheek and like shakes his cheek.
Biscuit snaps out of him and goes, "Okay, I figured out why it happened. Oh, okay. Okay, so this is first gate, yeah? It's
Mhm.
okay. In order to understand how this place exists, you have to understand quantum mechanics, which I'm going to be honest with you, I barely know the word. But this place is stacked on itself, and on itself, and on itself, and on itself, and depending on where you enter, or how you enter, you could enter from a place that's had a whole different timeline. The point is everything's a little bit wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. But I think we should be okay here. So, Grits, you come from a place where magic doesn't exist. That makes sense with one of the times that I went through this as myself, but not me. And you said maybe, which means that there's probably some weird hitches. You said that high priests can do it, so it still exists there, so maybe that hasn't happened yet. Has anyone explained what happens to the time outside of here while you're here?
I have not caught about what half of you said. I'm going to be perfectly honest.
That's fair. Because I wasn't
Once
paying
got,
attention.
oh,
Huh?
I once got cornered by H.G. Wells, and he tried to explain time travel to me, and I smacked him.
I don't know who that
So
is, but good for you. Anyway, I'm sorry, we've gotten completely off track. You're all famished. So, what can I do for you? What's your poison? I know that he said to go to Randy Red's, right? But let's be honest here. I've got the best stuff. 42, can you give us some time? Go harass somebody else. 42's just been standing there silently in the background, thinking about something, obviously, but she goes, "Yeah, okay. I'm going to go investigate the next time that Peeled Key's going to have a shorter list." Not that there's ever a list, because it's never time, but it's always time. And it just starts muttering to itself as it walks away. It's cool. I'll call him back for your guys' the rest of your vacation here.
what's still on his shoulder?
Yeah. Hey, leave, Princess, you can stay here.
She'll slide off the back. Like, still in proper shape.
Okay, so he's like, okay. So Biscuit doesn't see that. All right, so okay, we're just
Not yet.
keeping things canonical. All right. So he goes, all right. So you're looking for a red varietal. Do you have a particular poison that you like? Do you like pure? Do you like a little dilution? Do you like some spice? Do you like some spice? Do you like some actual spice?
Right now, I think just some pure, human. I think would be good.
Fine, human. So, ugh, whatever. We have so many
I've
different types. Are there only humans where you come from?
no. There's some other races.
He reaches in to what looks like a hole in the wall that goes out past the edge and shouldn't really be there. Like he'd be reaching into the next person's stall. And he pulls out a vial and he goes, no. Puts it back, reaches back in. Grits, you don't really need it. You feel like something rustling around in your bag. And he goes, that's a stupid bone. That's not my bone. Anyway, wrong one. He reaches out and he goes, here we go. Our finest year. Yesterday.
Wonderful.
All right. since you're friends at Grits, the first one's on the house. And he sets the bottle in front of you. Now, the rest of you, same thing. First one's on the house, but I do have to make a living, so in the future, you're definitely going to have to pay. The only person that gets half price ever is my family. And since Grits is my only family here right now, whether it be family or family, she gets half price. Anyway, Grits, what do you want?
Surprise me.
Okay. Dr. Count, what do you want?
Um,
I must suggest a human if you are curious.
meat, but bloody. Need to keep these to bay.
Okay, weird, but I respect your choice. Did you just say you're only human? Don't lie to me.
I said I suggest the human.
Oh, okay. Yes.
I wouldn't go that far, but we'll talk about that another time.
Biscuit like has a smirk on his face, looks at Remus, then looks at you, Moriarty, and goes, I mean, I've got the stuff.
I have been running low lately.
Fantastic. I got you. Don't worry about it. He reaches down and pulls up a treasure box, and he just taps on it and opens it up. And inside, he said, "Bra, right?"
Oh, yes.
Okay. He pulls out a perfectly cut like roast of just raw bloody meat, and it's of unknown origin. But he goes, "There you go." Sets it on a silver plate. All for you. Closes it back up. Can't use that for 24 hours. All right. Princess,
Hmm?
what can I get you in your unmoving face?
I don't know if I should hear. I've been told it's very unsettling, and I like
Biscuit
the new friends.
Biscuit looks at you, and the humor just disappears from his face, and he just goes, "Grits, smile at her."
hmm Grits grins,
So
all jagged.
yeah. So kobolds have, the kind of draconic, like shark-like, little jagged teeth. Grits grins, and her teeth are oversized. It is unsettlingly long. Like they don't belong there. In fact, some of them actually bend down when she opens her mouth. These things are designed to pierce, and they are certainly unnatural. And he goes, I highly doubt any of us are going to be concerned. That one drinks blood, that one eats questionable meat, and this one's got a smile that could scare a cat.